Hello everyone, good morning. In this video, we are going to learn our literature lesson, A Letter to God from the textbook First Flight. The name of the writer is G.L. Funes. But before starting the lesson, I want to share with you an example of faith which is going to be there in this lesson. What is faith? Let me give you an example. Every night you sleep, but you plan for the next day event, what you are going to do on the next day, because you have faith that you will surely awake on the next day and you will fulfill your plan on the next day. That is faith. As well as when you travel in a bus, at that time you do not know the driver. Who is the driver? What is his name? From where he comes? You don't know anything about the driver. Then also you travel in that bus because you have faith that you will surely reach to your destination safely. So this thing we are going to see in this lesson. Some people say that faith can move mountains, but what should we put our faith in? This is the question this story delicately poses. Okay, many people you may heard about these people. They say that if you have faith and if you ask any mountains, that mountains can be moved from that particular place. But the question is, to whom should we put our faith in? This is the question, and we will have answer of this question in this lesson. Now let's see about the lesson, some introduction of the lesson. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined. Ruined means destroyed, asking for 100 pesos. Does Lencho's letter reach God? Does God send him the money? Think what your answers to these questions would be, and gaze how the story continues before you begin to read it. Now let me give you another situation. Instead of Lencho, you consider yourself in this lesson, that you are a Lencho and you asked God to give some money. What do you think? Will you get the money? Think about it. Now let's see about the lesson. The activity is given in the textbook. You can see that, which is money order. But right now, due to lockdown, because of this COVID-19, post office are closed. So this is not possible. But after finishing this lockdown, you can do this, which is very interesting. So you can see that in your textbook, and in your free time you can do that. Now let's see ahead. Let's see the chapter. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. Crest means top of the hill. Now here it is described the house of our main character Lencho, which was alone on entire valley. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. Here it is mentioned about his farm. In his farm, there is ripe corn which dotted with the flowers, and it promised that he will have a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour or at least a shower. Okay, but to harvest or to have good harvest, the farm needed little bit of rain. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Okay, and the main character, our main character Lencho, what he was doing? He was seeing to the sky towards the northeast. What he was saying that he was looking for the rain. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. The lady of that house, maybe the wife of the Lencho. She was telling that they will have some water, means rain they will have. The woman who was preparing supper means dinner, replied, yes, good God willing. The older boys were working in the fields, while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, come for dinner. Okay, now the Lencho has his family. In his family, the older boys they were working on the fields, while the smaller ones were playing near the house. And when the mother called them for dinner, they went for the dinner. It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. Okay, when they were eating, at that time the rain was started. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. Okay, from northeast side, huge mountains of clouds were approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, these aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. Okay, now when he was eating at that time, the rain was started. And to feel that rain on his body, what he has done? He went out of the house and started bathing in that rain. And after entering the house, he exclaimed that these are not raindrops falling from the sky, they are new coins. What he was telling that these are new coins, because from this rain he was going to have a good harvest in his farm. That's why he was saying this. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are fives. Okay, he was describing big the bigger drops as 10 cent and little ones as 5 cent. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers wrapped in a curtain of rain. Okay, he has seen that his field was satisfied with rain. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. Okay, it means that he was enjoying the rain, but after some time, the rain was changed into hailstones with a heavy wind. This truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. Now the small kids have started collecting the hailstones or the uh, ice, because it was looking like the frozen pearls. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. Okay, now because of the hailstones, his corns are getting destroyed. That's why he was worried and exclaimed, it's really getting bad now. I hope it passes quickly. It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. He was hoping that it will pass quickly, but for an hour the hailstorm continued, and it was fall on the hillside, cornfield, and everything. The field was white, as if covered with salt. Now his cornfield was covered with the ice, hills, and it was looking like it was covered with the salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. Okay, and because of the hailstones, not a single leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this." What he was telling that if instead of this hailstone, the locusts have come, then also they have left more than this. Locusts means तीड़ तीड़ जो हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं वो. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. Okay, and now the farmer was disappointed because his cornfield was totally destroyed, and he was disappointed because he will not have anything to eat throughout the year. That night was a sorrowful one. Okay, that night was sorrowful then. All over work for nothing. Whatever they have done to have the ripe corns, that is for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We will all go hungry this year. What he was telling that now nobody will help us, and we will have hungry for this year. Now let's see the oral comprehension check questions. These are the 4 questions. The first one is, what did Lencho hope for? It was given in the first or second paragraph that he was hoped for the good rain or the shower to have the good crops. The second one is, why did Lencho say the raindrops were like new coins? As already I have explained in the lesson, that because he will have good crops, and after selling that crops he will have good money. That's why he was saying the same thing. Third is, how did the rain change? What happened to Lencho's fields? How did the rain change? The rain changed into hailstones after the heavy wind. What happened to Lencho's fields? It was totally destroyed. Okay, after reading the text, you have to answer this completely, and you have to write in your notebook. What were Lencho's feelings when the hail stopped? He was totally disappointed because he will not have anything to feed his family. That's why he was disappointed and he was sad. Now let's see ahead. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope: help from God. Okay, now everybody who was living in that house, they all have only single hope, that is help from God. Don't be so upset. Even though this seems like a total loss, remember, no one dies of hunger. Okay, what the words are saying that if anything is destroyed, then also no need to worry because nobody will die of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. They all say the same thing. that nobody will die because of the hunger, because they have the great faith on God, that God will surely help them. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Okay, now he has only one thing in his mind, that the help from the God. Conscience means an inner sense of right and wrong. Lencho was an ox of a man. Ox of a man means a hard worker, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. Okay, he was educated. He knew very well how to write. The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. Okay, in Sunday, in daybreak, he has written a letter to God, and he by himself going to town to place in the mailbox. It was nothing less than a letter to God, which is the name of the lesson. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes because the hailstorm. Okay, he has written in his letter that and asked God for the 100 pesos to fulfill the need of his family as well as to sow his field again. He wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. Okay, after reaching the post office, what he has done? He placed a stamp on the letter and dropped into the mailbox. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Okay, it is absolutely, it is like a joke. A person who writes a letter to God, and that's why the postman, he was laughing and went to his boss and saying that, see this letter, the person has written a letter to God, and he was laughing. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. Okay, and in his career he has never seen this kind of address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable means friendly and pleasant. The postmaster was replying that fellow also broke out laughing, but almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk commented, what faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. The postmaster also started laughing, but after a while he stopped and commented, what a faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. Okay, he was astonishing that man and remembering him and asking to God, I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. Starting up a correspondence with God. So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. Answer the letter. Okay, now what postmaster has decided? He does not want to break down the faith of Lencho. So he had decided to answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink, and paper. Why he had think like this? Because when he has read this letter, he realized that he needs money also to answer this letter. But he stuck to his resolution. Okay, but then also he stuck to his resolution, means whatever he decided to answer the letter, he stuck on that. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. So everybody who works in that post office, everybody gave something to do this charity work. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos. Okay, for the postmaster, it was not possible to give all 100 pesos. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as the signature, God. Now, the postmaster do not have that much capacity to give 100 pesos, but he has given more than half of that, and he has written a letter also, but in that only a single word is mentioned. It was a signature, that is God. Now let's see the oral comprehension check questions. The first is, who or what did Lencho have faith in? What did he do? Okay, that already I have explained. Second is, who read the letter? That is postmaster. Third is, what did the postmaster do then? That also I have mentioned in the last paragraph. Now let's see ahead. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. Okay, and on the next Sunday, he came there on the post office and asked the postman if he has any letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Contentment means satisfaction. The postmaster was satisfied because he has tried to help the needy person. So he has that ability to help anybody. Now let's see ahead. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Such was his confidence, but he became angry when he counted the money. Okay, now when Lencho opened that envelope and when he had seen the money, he did not have surprise on his face because he was confident that God will surely help him. But he became angry. Why? Because when he counted the money, it was not 100 pesos. That's why he became angry. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. Okay, why he was angry? Because he was telling that God could not have made a mistake, and even he could not denied whatever he had asked for. Immediately, Lencho went up to the window to ask for paper and ink. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow, caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas. Okay, and what he has done, he had asked paper and ink and started writing with his anger. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp which he licked and then to the envelope. Okay. Then after finishing what he has done, he had affixed the envelope, stamp, and then given into the mailbox. with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. It said, God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Okay, what he has written? That I got only 70 pesos. Send me the rest since I need it very much. He had asked the remaining pesos, 30 pesos, which is remaining, because he got only 70 pesos. But don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lencho. But what he has written else? Don't send me this money through the mailbox or post office, because I do not trust on this employees, because they are the bunch of crooks. Bunch of crooks means they are the not they are the thieves, like that he was saying. And at last he was signing himself. Now let's see the oral comprehension check. The first is, was Lencho surprised to find a letter for him with the money in it? No, not at all, because he had a great faith on God that he will surely have money. What made him angry? The money what he had got. He had got only 70 pesos. That's why he became angry, because he was needed 100 pesos. Okay, so here we end this lesson. Now, the questions which are given in the exercise, thinking about the text, first to 4 and the question number 6, these 5 questions as well as all oral comprehension check questions you have to write in your notebook. And as you already instructed by me, that if you have any query in any of the paragraph of this lesson, you can contact me on my number 8320060822. These all questions you have to write in your fair book. Thank you. Have a good day.